I love you. Hey, happy International Women's Day.
Good afternoon, everybody. Thank you for joining us as we announce an exciting path forward to further establish Colorado as a leader on clean energy, saving people money, cutting red tape to accelerate the clean energy transition, and making sure Colorado is the national leader on clean energy solutions. It takes a lot of work. We're proud to be joined by, of course, who you'll hear from, Senator Hansen, Representative Weissman, Representative Kipp, and Representative Dixon. We're also joined by Representative Leader, Representative Wilford, Representative Vigil, Will Torr, the Colorado Energy Office, Representative McCormick, and Representative Valdez, and Representative Joseph. Anybody else? Wilford, not Wilford. Okay. Thank you. We're also joined by Aaron Weller and Jeff Franklin, who live in Louisville, right in the area affected by the fires. Their home survived, but they implemented a heat pump, and they're going to talk about that because one of the ways we want to save people money is make it less expensive for people to implement heat pumps for home heating. As you know, I ran for governor on the goal of achieving 100% renewable energy by 2040. Since I was elected, we've come a long way. We've locked in 80% renewable energy by 2030. We're fifth in the nation for electric vehicle sales, and we're leading the way in clean energy technologies. Today's work will further establish Colorado as a leader, and there's a lot more work to do to save people money on cars and energy and e-bikes. We have both here. We have a Ford Mustang Mach-E. We have an e-bike Radwagon. These are examples of some of the great electric vehicle technology and e-bike technology. And we know that we need to act on climate. In the last few years alone, Colorado has experienced the 3 largest wildfires in the history of our entire state and the most destructive fire in the history of our state at the end of 2021. Not to mention, Coloradans are frustrated by high home heating costs, high gas prices because of our reliance on expensive fuel that has prices, international commodities markets that is beyond the control of Coloradans. Today, we want to make sure we empower Coloradans to save money. As you know, a few weeks ago, I called on the Public Utilities Commission and Energy Office and our utilities to look at ways to reduce costs for Coloradans. I want to thank the legislature for their special committee to look into high costs and provide relief. Today is about those longer-term solutions to climate, to saving people money, to reliable clean energy alternatives. That's why this comprehensive package today will save people money and expand access to clean energy, cut red tape to accelerate the clean energy transition, and further Colorado's position as a leader in clean energy solutions. That includes tax credits that save people an additional $3,000 on high-efficiency heat pumps, tax credits to reduce the cost of electric vehicles like this Ford Mustang by $5,000 and electric bikes by $800. Geothermal energy, system around carbon sequestration and reduction, reducing pollution from industrial facilities, and more, for cleaner air, for doing our part on climate, and for reducing costs. This package includes investment in alternative heating sources for utilities, including geothermal and hydrogen, electric vehicle charging stations, energy improvements for homes. We also, with these tools, are excited to work with Senator Hansen on upping the net zero greenhouse gas emissions targets. And for us to be open to the new, more ambitious goals and be able to achieve them, we need the tools that scientists and economists say will help us reduce global greenhouse gas emissions to sustainable levels. And that's why we're so excited to work with Representative Dixon, Representative Titone, Representative Vigil on clean hydrogen, sustainable aviation fuel, carbon management, geothermal, and other emerging technologies, working with Senator Hansen on underground storage. All of these will be successful parts of Colorado's success and our future. I also want to remind our friends that Colorado is leading a multi-state consortium of Utah, Wyoming, and New Mexico to gain major additional federal investment as a hydrogen hub, hundreds of millions of dollars for Colorado's transition. We're one of the applicants encouraged to apply. We're working with our project partners, and some of the legislative package will help make Colorado more competitive, both for hydrogen as well as for pulling down additional federal dollars. I also, as you know, my chair's initiative with the bipartisan Western Governors Association, Heat Beneath Our Feet. We're very excited to explore the potential of always-on reliable geothermal electric energy, as well as, of course, potential for geothermal passive heating and cooling systems. These efforts are about our moral obligation to fight to protect the world we live in for ourselves and for future generations. We can have clean air and more affordable forms of transportation. We can heat our homes sustainably and save people money on their utility bills. We can live in a world that has cleaner air and lower costs. And I'm committed to working to make major progress towards our climate goals, and this exciting, bold package is a big part of that. With that, I'm happy to turn it over to Erin Weller and Jeff Franklin to talk about their experience with efficient heat pumps.
Hello, everyone. My name is Erin, and I'm here with my husband. Oop, do I need to do it? Is that okay? Okay. Thank you. My name is Erin, and I'm here with my husband, Jeff. We would like to thank Governor Polis, Senator Hansen, Representative Kipp, and Representative Dixon, as well as other legislators, for inviting us to speak here today and share our experience with all of you. Protecting our climate is so important, and we are grateful to have leaders that are committed to embracing clean energy, and we are grateful to play a role in that work. We live in Louisville. It's a community that we love. We are survivors of the Marshall Fire. We were fortunate that our home was not destroyed by the fire, but neighbors living just 1,800 feet away from us lost everything. We know how fortunate we are to still have our home, but after being part of one of the worst climate disasters our state has ever seen, we wanted to find a heating and cooling option that was more efficient and more affordable. Our old furnace was pulling in ash-filled air, and we knew we needed to find a better alternative. We did a lot of research and ultimately decided to switch our furnace and evaporative cooling to a heat pump last summer.
That's right, we chose the heat pump because we knew it would be effective in extremely cold weather. During the cold snaps we experienced this year, not only has the heat pump been incredibly efficient in heating our home, but we also didn't see the same spikes in our home heating bills that so many other people around the state did. While other people's bills went up by hundreds of dollars, our bill was only slightly higher than what we paid the year before. If more people had heat pumps in their homes, they would have saved hundreds or thousands of dollars on their home heating bills these last few months. With this legislative package, we hope to see more families like ours get access to these more efficient pumps and save money on their utility bills. The tax credits being proposed can help lower costs for families, saving them up to $3,000, saving them money on upfront installation as well as in the long run. We're also happy to share our experience to help raise awareness about these more efficient alternatives. Not too many people know what options are out there aside from the traditional heating and cooling methods. But we hope that through this work and this legislative package, we can help more people find heating and cooling options that work best for them. I want to close by again thanking the governor for his leadership and the legislators working on these bills for their commitment to clean energy and protecting our climate. Thank you, and now I'd like to introduce Representative Weitzman.
Thank you, Erin and Jeff, for sharing your experience upgrading. It's exactly stories like that, and it's our desire to allow more Coloradans to participate in using new technology in their homes to save money, to lower their carbon emissions footprint. That I'm excited to be part of the package rolling out today, to be a sponsor on a bill with a variety of tax credits to incentivize heat pumps, to incentivize electric bikes, electric cars like you see here, electric trucks, to help some of our Colorado industries find new ways, new, more efficient, money-saving ways to use energy, to reduce the carbon emissions of various industrial processes that they do, also to incentivize geothermal energy. I think we all know we're a leading state for wind and solar. We're also a leading state for geothermal energy potential. We just need to accelerate the industry a little bit to take advantage of that. We're going to have a combination of investment tax credits to help these facilities get started, production tax credits to support them once they are going. As you heard, there can be significant savings to consumers in heat pumps. We know that the cost of running an electric car can be a third or a quarter of the cost to buy gasoline and diesel to put in your car. We're going to have a tax credit that will save a major fraction of electric bikes, which is a way that folks like to get around as well. All in all, we are excited today to save people money, to save businesses money, to clean up our air, to help bring new jobs to implement these technologies to Colorado, and to use the tax code to enforce our values and achieve the goals that the governor has spoken of. Thank you. And next we'll hear from Senator Hinson.
Thank you, Representative Weissman. Thank you, Governor. I'm so glad to be with everyone today for this important announcement about this package of bills. As the voters of Colorado know, and as the voters of Colorado have been very clear about, we have urgent work to do to continue our progress on tackling the climate crisis. I'm so proud to have been a part of that work for the past 6 sessions. I'm continuing that with my colleagues and with the governor here in my 7th session at the Capitol. We have urgent work to do, and I want to highlight that this is our once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to do this work. This is a moment when we have a confluence of federal, state, and local incentives coming into the same time frame to accelerate this work. And it's so important that Colorado continues to lead, and I'm proud to be a part of that effort. I'm part of several of these bills, but the one I wanted to highlight today is Senate Bill 16. It's worked its way through a couple of the Senate committees already. We're working out the final details, and I'm pleased to report that we have a clear path to get this to the governor's desk. And the highlight there is we're updating our targets so that Colorado continues to be a national leader in reaching net zero by 2050. That's what the science is telling us we need to do. Colorado's going to get there. And with the rest of this package of bills, we're going to be able to put the technological options on the table to reach these goals. They are achievable. It's what we need to do for the future of our planet and for future generations, and I know we can get there. Also part of Senate Bill 16 are tax incentives to help people convert over to electric lawnmowers, leaf blowers, snow blowers, etc. We know it has a big impact on climate emissions. It also has a significant impact on improving local air quality. Unfortunately, in Denver and the surrounding area, we're still suffering from the brown cloud. The EPA is telling us we're serious non-attainment area. We have to make rapid progress on this. And inside this package of bills are a number of ways that we're going to accomplish our climate goals and improve local air quality. So thanks for having me today, and I know together we're going to make huge progress for Colorado in this session. And I'll now turn it over to one of my co-sponsors, Representative Dixon.
Thank you, Senator Hanson. Thank you, Mr. Governor, for having us here, and thank you all of you for being here. Today, we're announcing important legislation that will further our ongoing efforts to reduce harmful emissions and invest in clean, reliable energy sources. Colorado has an opportunity to continue leading in the innovative energy space, and this work will create jobs and help us take advantage of this unique opportunity. Our state's climate goals are always top of mind, and that's why I'm proud to champion 2 bills this year that will help push our state closer to meeting our goals and stimulate the economy. HB 23-1210 creates a strategic plan to better manage one of the biggest climate culprits, carbon dioxide. This bill specifically makes sure the carbon management projects can receive grant funding they need to keep innovating and making a difference in reducing our carbon outputs and starting to draw carbon out of the atmosphere. Colorado has a lot of innovative thinkers in this space and in emerging technologies surrounding capture, removal, storage, and use of carbon dioxide pollution. And this package encourages innovation in this space and investment to make Colorado a leader in clean energy. Continuing to attract innovative businesses will further Colorado as a blueprint for other states looking to make headways in clean, renewable energy technologies in the future. Now, the second piece of legislation that I'm sponsoring will expand clean energy technologies, including geothermal and long-duration storage. This bill will help save businesses money and grow green jobs as we reduce our state's dependency on fossil fuels. As many of you know, Colorado utilities have committed to achieving at least 80% renewable energy on the grid by 2030, but we need additional innovation and entrepreneurship to make it happen. And we need to ensure reliable energy even when the sun's not shining and the wind's not blowing. That's why I'm running this bill. It will develop a structure for clean electricity production for different energy sources, such as geothermal and green hydrogen. It also creates programs and incentives to expand reliably dispatchable systems so that more homes and businesses can take advantage of these cost-saving energy resources and really take advantage of this clean and reliable source. The goal is to help the Colorado companies build and scale these projects while providing early investment in innovative technologies that work to reduce emissions. Together, we are all committed to taking bold action to reduce climate change in Colorado. We'll harvest innovative ideas and prioritize renewable energy sources. So thank all of you, and I will pass it on to the governor. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you to our legislators who have joined us here today for your important work in sponsorship of these bills, to Will Tour, Colorado Energy Office, for working with the legislature. Questions?
Governor, I know in Senate Bill 16, the 30% tax credit for the incentives are outlined, but here you're just saying $120 million, and you're talking about different things that where the money might go. I saw a CPR story had some details from your administration, but my understanding was that some of the details, there's no bill, so are those going to...
Yeah, I'll have Representative Weissman, where is he still, is he here? Yeah, address that. I think that the target for that will include a $5,000 tax credit for electric vehicles, $800 tax credit for e-bikes. There's a few that the exact dollar amount is still being worked on. I'll let Representative Weissman.
Thank you. Jesse and others, as you heard the governor speak, and as you've seen, the goal here is to make a significant investment in everything we talked about. Electric car transition, electric truck transition, electric bikes, heat pumps, industrial processes, geothermal energy. We are targeting $800, which is a major fraction of an electric bike. We're targeting $5,000 for electric vehicles. We want to facilitate that transition as quickly as possible, even before some of the Inflation Reduction Act federal law tax credits become available. Some of the details are being worked out. Some of the industrial things will be expressed in terms of the percentage of the investment that you make. We're going to make sure that we have a significant investment to accelerate these transitions and to do so in a way that's fiscally responsible.
Will there be strings attached similar to how the IRA works in terms of like it has to be manufactured in America?
So, short answer is no on that, and I'll talk about that in a second. One more piece. The current, just so you are clear, so the current EV tax credit is $2,000. This would be an increase to $5,000, so it's $3,000 less. Also, we are trying to get more manufacturers to move that to point of sale, and that's very important because right now only Nissan and GM have point of sale. The rest are later. Our goal with this is to make it larger, but also easier for consumers, so they get it back at the point of sale. There is a gap on the welcomed electric vehicle tax credits in the Inflation Reduction Act. They are currently not applicable to any model of electric vehicle sold in Colorado. And we don't want people to put off their decisions to buy an EV for years, 2, 3, 4 years, till more and more EVs meet the requirements for the federal tax credit. That's why a state tax credit is so important, to make sure that people can start saving money sooner rather than later.
Will there be caps on income levels, and how long does the credits last for?
Yeah, they're temporary. It's going to be for a couple years until the larger federal tax credits are actually usable. Again, the $5,000 tax credit is a lot higher percentage of the purchase price for a $25,000 electric vehicle than it would be for a $100,000 electric vehicle. So the savings are much more significant. And Representative Weissman is also working on a component for additional incentives for lower cost electric vehicles as part of the package as well. We're joined by one of our original speakers who wasn't able to make it. I want to give her a moment or two, Representative Kipp from Fort Collins.
Thank you everybody for coming today, and I'm sorry for my tardiness. Between floor and committee, it's a little bit challenging here at the Capitol. But I'm so excited to be here today to talk about this new package of bills. I think that we have a lot of great proposals coming up, and we look forward to vetting them in the Energy and Environment Committee. I am the chair of that committee in the House. We have a lot of wonderful things that I think that we can do to improve our climate issues, right? We need to mitigate climate change. We need to improve energy efficiency. We need to make it so that we all have clean air to breathe. So we have a lot of places to go. I have a few pieces of legislation myself. I'm carrying 1161 with Representative Wolford here to increase the efficiency of appliance standards and light bulb standards, et cetera, in products. And also, we're going to be making improvements in the the emissions of our furnaces and our water heaters with this, which is really a huge step in the right direction because everybody has a water heater and a furnace if you're fortunate enough to be housed, correct? And then we also have another bill that makes sure people have options. For instance, to get electric appliances to replace their other appliances, their gas-fueled appliances, which I'm running with, I don't know if she's here, but Representative Joseph. So we've got a lot of good things coming, both for myself and so many of my colleagues, and I just appreciate you all taking the time to come today and listen to what we've got to offer.
All of these bills some are introduced already, Jesse. In fact, there's one nearing my desk. The ones you haven't seen, you will see in the coming days. But we're very excited as a package to talk about saving people money on energy, preparing Colorado for the success in the future, and achieving our bold climate goals.
Governor, with one of those that hasn't been introduced yet, the EV charging and parking requirements, it says that it's going to ensure Coloradans across the state have access to high-quality EV charging. What is it? What strategies is it going to use to ensure that?
Yeah, let me see if we have our sponsors here for that one. That's Valdez.
Yeah.
You want to talk on that? Also, I would add, this is one where our North Star has always been making sure that it saves people money, and there's flexibility on the implementation in that technology changes over time. And it's my understanding that this bill addresses that.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Governor. Thanks for the question. I think, yes, exactly what he said is we are trying to make access easier as we see numbers approaching over 10% of EV sales. So we're trying to make sure that we're doing what it takes to ensure that public parking spaces, multifamily construction, that those technologies are going to be available for people as they acquire the Mach-E here. And so that's essentially what it will do.
But how? I mean, what exactly is it going to do to incentivize or to ensure that happens?
Well, as you know, Bill's going through the process. There's a lot of work to still be done. So what I always say is as the bill goes through, it'll change. But ultimately, the goal is really just to create a point of access for people at their home, at their workplace, and somewhere where they can charge their vehicles since they are buying them in record numbers now.
Sorry, to belabor the point a little bit, obviously there was controversy when you guys required that certain multifamily buildings have these electric spaces. Is this going to be a mandate of some sort? How are you?
Look, I think if you're referring to the bill last session, is that what you're referring to? So one thing that's key, and I think the sponsors, the advocates agree, is we don't want to see the exact technical requirements in code, in law, because technology changes significantly over time. So there needs to be a dynamic process for updating those. This will have that. It'll also make sure that this can be a cost-saving measure, making sure that, for instance, pre-wiring can occur where appropriate to significantly reduce the cost of a charging station that's installed later. Will, do you have anything else to say on that, or anything to correct that Alex or I said? Is that right?
No, I think that's right, Governor. The intent is that the Energy Code Board that was created last year by House Bill 1362 is developing EV charging standards for multifamily housing. And this would help to move those forward.
Yes, go ahead. Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, well, I would say this overall effort to make sure they're available at point of sale is critical, because having to wait and fill out paperwork and get it, 6 months later or 10 months later doesn't work for families who are living month to month, as many families are. So substantial reduction in cost of electric vehicles, that will be through this mechanism at the point of sale that Representative Weissman has worked on, and that can cover a substantial portion of the purchase price of an e-bike. EVs, of course, run the gamut in price, but certainly for the more affordable electric vehicles, a $5,000 tax credit, potentially more for the lower cost EVs, and if it's upfront, will significantly improve access for lower and middle income families to electric vehicles, which also have substantially lower operating costs over time. Lower fuel costs, less than a quarter or less, obviously electricity instead of gas, and significantly lower maintenance.
Governor, when would the tax credits go into
doesn't have $5,000. What happens if someone doesn't
Yeah.
have $5,000 tax?
I think the question was when these would go into effect. We're trying to put as many of these tax incentives into effect right away as we can. As the governor noted, there are other requirements on the federal tax credits about where the car is made, where the battery is made. Those are policy choices made by the federal government. Our goal is to get these incentives going as quickly as possible. To the point about folks not having as much of a tax bill, that's part of why it's important to have it happen at point of sale. The technical term is assignability. That means that if I'm the person buying the car, I don't need to wait 6, 10, 11 months to do my taxes and get it to be sent back to me. I do some paperwork with the dealer. I experience a lower purchase price up front. I save money right now, and the vehicle dealer deals with the tax system later.
And just to be clear, so even if you earn a very low income, are not subject to state taxes, this is a refundable tax credit. You still benefit from the full $5,000 regardless of your tax liability in the state. What's that? Telemundo? Okay. Spanish, we'll see. So, este es inversión en nuestra futura limpia de energía en Colorado y queremos ofrecer energía para bajos costos a toda nuestra población. Por ejemplo, vamos a pasar una descuenta para vehículos eléctricos de $5,000 menos en costo. También por bicicletas eléctricas vamos a ayudar con $800 bajos a costo para comprar un bicicleta eléctrico. Thank you all for joining us. Welcome to Colorado's clean energy future.